So give me some more clarity going to that conference about marketing and how important it is and the ways that we can really implement in our business in quick, easy, bite-sized ways. And then I quickly started thinking about like a lot of times things that I've done in the past or things I've seen other people do in the past that have worked really, really well. Go and look up Alex Hormozy. He is an expert marketer. He owns a business acquisition.com. He's ran and launched several businesses, and his key thing is marketing. That's what he does best. And he built a team around him to do other things, but he's really good at marketing. And so he's written 2 books. They're both free, and he gives them out for free. Does amazing content for free. $100 million offers and $100 million leads. I recommend you guys skip the offers one because it might not apply to what you're doing today and go straight for the leads one. Everything that he talks about in leads is something is all really relevant to us as real estate agents, as business owners. The offers I feel like is a little geared towards people who are in the digital space. I think it's something that we still can use, and I'm still going to implement it in some ways, but the leads one is more important. And so basically, he breaks down that there's 4 different ways we can get a lead. The 4 different ways are cold outreach, warm outreach, paid ads, and content. So cold outreach, that one's pretty obvious, right? Like you're cold calling people. So you get a list of people and you're calling them cold. You're calling the FRB owners. That'd be an example of FRB of cold outreach. Warm outreach would be same as cold outreach, but people that you already know. So that'd be like working your sphere of influence, right? It'd be like if you signed up an investment partner account, it'd be calling somebody who you had already signed up and asking for those referrals. And then paid ads is exactly what it sounds like. You're posting ads to generate leads. And so like what he loves to do is he loves to do paid ads through Meta, which is Facebook, Instagram. Another really common one is YouTube. YouTube's a great one specifically for real estate agents to generate leads, especially if you have listings. That's something that we do big time and we've had a lot of success with. And then the last one is content. And so content is building that brand. And so this one is one that you want to do as a real estate agent no matter what, because you're taking a long-term approach. You want people to know, like, and trust you. And if you can have easy ways to be building a brand, because when people come in contact with you, when people meet you at a go show, or when you cold call somebody and set an appointment with them, or use any of those other methods, you better believe that they're going and Googling your name and looking what your online presence is. And so I think when we hear content, like I know I have this problem. When I hear content, I'm like, oh shit, that means I have to post on Instagram like 5 times a week. And I was shooting around text message with people earlier, and like someone even asked me, is like, hey, well, like, what do I do on Instagram or other profiles if I don't really want to post personal information about myself? I don't want to post my family. That's weird. That feels weird for me. That feels insecure for me. And so I think like what's important that I learned last week that I want to share with you guys is that content means something different for everybody. And just because you've seen one person run their brand one way doesn't mean you have to run your brand the same way. And so Hormozy has this saying is more, better, new. So when he's going to work a leads channel, he says either you want to do more of the channel of one channel, and then once you've maxed out that channel, then you can go into start doing better at that channel. And then after you've gone to that, then you can go to new. So what that means is it means pick one of those channels and go all in. And the content side of things is something that you have to have no matter what, because the world we live in, people are Googling you to verify you as a source. And so again, it doesn't mean you have to go post on Instagram 5 times a week, pictures of your family. But what it does mean is if somebody Googles you, your name needs to come up with some relevance of real estate with your photo and a bio about you. Okay, so what I'm showing you with this exercise is that there are these huge websites already, and they have a ton of what's called domain authority with Google. They have a ton of domain authority, and they spend hundreds of millions of dollars every single month beating everybody else at SEO. And so what you can do is actually leverage their dollars and just post your profiles on their websites. So rather than you trying to compete with them or buy ads for your name or anything like that, just leverage their domain authority, leverage their marketing spend, and create these profiles. So you need to make sure you have an Instagram profile. You need to make sure you have a Facebook profile. You need to make sure you have a LinkedIn profile, and you need to make sure you have a Zillow profile, Realtor.com profile, MLS profile. I'd say that's a good summation. Homes.com is spending a lot of money on marketing, so probably one you want to get going to. So let's do an exercise right now. Everybody pick one of those websites, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Realtor.com, or Zillow. Pick one of those websites and go in there and make sure you have a profile and put in your headshot. Also, if you don't have a bio, you need to make a bio. And if you feel uncomfortable writing a bio, there's this amazing tool that you guys might have heard about it. It's kind of been breaking the internet. Is ChatGPT. Just go over to ChatGPT, put in some bullet points of what you want your bio to be, and it will pump you out a bio. So like everybody just go and do that right now. Pick one of those profiles and go and create it. So you need to think about marketing yourself a little bit unique. So maybe make like a variation of your name that's going to be unique to you. So like my coach, Eric Hatch, he had that problem. So he brands himself Real Eric Hatch. Brianna Ramirez, she's one of the panelists at our Summer to Remember coming up. And if you haven't bought your tickets, definitely buy those. She has a very common name, right? Brianna Ramirez. Like there's probably thousands, hundreds of thousands of Brianna Ramirez's. So what she does is she does Homes by Brianna. And I actually asked her about this. I asked her that very question. So why do you do that? Why do you call yourself Homes by Brianna? She said, there's hundreds of thousands of homes of Brianna Ramirez's. So I need to make myself unique and I need to go all in on that one term. So that way people know that's what she goes by and she's able to maximize it. So each one of you has this website. And so, yes, down the line, you can go and get a fancy website through a company that charges you a lot of money that has IDX. But right now, what you need is just to have a web presence and what's called an IDX. IDX is basically an MLS feed. And you want an MLS feed with a forced registration. So that way, when people go to your site, they are forced to log in or register in order to view more properties. Then that information gets downloaded from their opt-in form into your CRM. And so if you guys already have this, start using it on your social profile. So on each one of your social profiles, you should have this website. Diego, who's on the team, he went sandbox, but he's been with the team. What he likes to do is he'll post his like just sold or as stories, and he'll put a link to his NorCal Real website, and he gets direct traffic from that. I've seen him sold 3 houses from that. Because people are forced registering, and then he's seeing that they're forced registering, and then he's able to follow up with them and see why they were interested in that information. Because if people are clicking on things and you don't know about it, what good is it, right? It's good for branding, but you don't have the ability to take action on it. So it seems like everybody's good to go on that. Does everybody know how to edit that site? So on your website, so here on your name, you click website profile, and you have the ability to edit it. Now, please don't change your pictures unless if you do want to change your picture, please email Colby and she will change it because we follow a specific format for the whole company site. And so it looks really nice when we're all in the same format. If somebody goes in and puts in their own format, it looks really wonky. But you can come in here and put in your make sure your DRE information is in there, your contact information. See, I'm bad. I need to do this. I need to connect on my social profiles, and then you can come in here and do a bio at the end. And so it makes for a very simple website. Like I'm not telling you guys this is some special fancy schmancy website, but it's a website that'll convert is what it is. And down the road, if you want to make a fancy website, you absolutely can. But you need to start with something, right? We need to start with a place where people can find us. We have to start with a brand. I'll share my screen real fast so you guys can see it doesn't look bad at all. It gives the people the ability to search for homes in any area. And you can search right away and see all the homes for that area. And you'll see if I start to click on them, it'll make me opt in. So that's what it's doing there. So that's called an IDX feed with a forced registration. So if you guys just created your LinkedIn or your Instagram or whatever like that, make sure this link is in your bio. Because what could happen is somebody could go Google you because you called them. They can go Google you. Your Instagram comes up first. They can click on your profile. They can see your website right away on there. They can click on that, and then they could force register them. And if somebody's done research on you, I don't know the stats behind it, but they're significantly more likely to do business with you if they do that because you've built them authority with them.
Hey, with Kyle, too, with the laws with the DRE, so you need to have your DRE number posted on any social media that you're putting any links to, right?
Correct. Yeah, you have to have your DRE number published at all times. Yeah,
And your page needs to be public as well, or can it be private as long as that stuff is still posted on there?
it can be private, but remember, if you're being private, then you're making it so people who you don't know can't find you.
That's true.
So I recommend making it public.
Yeah.
You guys, if you guys are taking Zillow leads, these Zillow leads are going and clicking on your site. And if you don't have anything on there, you are losing authority with them immediately. It's also going to always be one of your top five searches, no matter what, because Zillow has a ton of domain authority. They spend a ton of money on marketing. They get a ton of traffic on their website, especially for anything real estate related. So you have to have this updated. All right. So now when it goes to social profiles, you need to have a profile set up for every single social media account. And you should have some posts in each one of them so that if somebody Googles you and goes on your page, they have what's like a landing page, right? They have something that they can look at you and say, like, hey, I see Sawyer. He's in real estate. He's a tall, good looking guy. I should do business with him. So have some content on each page, but only pick one to actually use. Only pick one to actually use. And back to the strategy is more, better, new. So do more of that one profile, then focus on the quality of it until you can't max more. So like let's take the Instagram example, right? So if you're posting on Instagram, post on Instagram frequently. Until you're posting too much, you shouldn't really focus on your quality as much. There's just a barrier where you need to be above. But guys, people really want to see vlog style now. They want to see you holding your camera out in front of a property. Like, I don't know if you guys have been watching Titus's stuff, but she's doing a great job. Like she's showing real stuff. She's not going for all the flashy, look at me, look at me. She's doing what it really looks like to be in her world. She's showing herself at the open house and things like that. So I love it. Great job, Titus. Keep it up.
So I just wanted to double check. So if we're going to post a house, like let's say we're doing a showing or an open house, so I know we obviously have to tag the listing agent, and right the MLS number, but do we? I can't remember. Have to ask permission before we film there, like if we're just doing like a showing.
It's better if you do ask permission, but no, you don't need to. If you're going to do a large production, definitely. But if you're doing something quick and easy, no. Most people don't care. I subscribe to the methodology of ask for forgiveness, not permission. Now, if you're going to go in there and film like if you're going to bring a videographer with you and like shoot like a fancy one, then yes, absolutely
Uh-huh.
ask permission because that's that. Then you're kind of like you are kind of jacking. But if you're like on like the best way to do this, guys, is to be on broker tour and shoot like a little clip and then be like, message me for details. This is a super cute 3 bedroom in Willow Glen. Message me for details. Have that listing agent's information there too. Now back to that personal question that I got earlier. So like this is specifically for Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. This doesn't apply to YouTube. Doesn't apply to this. So this is called social media. What's the point of social media?
To be social.
To be social. It's to start a conversation, guys. The whole point of social media is to be social. The bare minimum is you need the branding on there so that somebody lands on your profile, you look like a real person and you look likable and they might want to work with you and all that good stuff. But once you have that, it's better to be social than it is to worry about what you're posting on your content. So if you're worried about like, hey, what do I post? I don't want to post I don't want to post my kids. I don't want to post my wife. I don't want to post my husband. I don't want to post my dogs. That's all private to me. I say, good, don't. Get 9 pictures on there of you doing some real estate stuff or maybe of you just being in there and
Yeah.
spend 100% of your time being social on there because it's not about you. It's about them. Marketing is making people feel seen, heard, and understood. And so the best marketing is actually going to their profiles and commenting on what they're doing and starting a conversation. So if you see they're doing something interesting in their profile, send them a direct message or make a comment, and people love that. People go on there and check how many comments and views they have constantly. Miguel, have you ever spent like 3 hours making a reel and checked your Instagram 30 times to see if anybody commented on it or if anybody watched it?
Yes. Wait, wait. I think, yes. Like, I do check it to see if anyone commented and how many times it's been viewed. Um, but I haven't. I've gotten a few DMs, if that's what you're referring to, like, and start a conversation. Like, definitely, the reels do start some conversation.
Yeah, and does it feel good when you do?
It's nerve-wracking at first, but it pays off eventually.
I mean, when somebody DMs you, does it feel good?
Yeah, it does.
Because like the social media is like all about this dopamine hit, right? Like if you guys want to get, it's like it's terrible for society. It's terrible for our brains, and so about us getting this dopamine hit. And so what you're doing is when you're going to give somebody that comment or that DM, you're giving them a dopamine hit of like, yes, I got validation. What I'm doing is great because everyone's posting themselves in the best light, right? And so go give them what they're looking for. Go give them that dopamine hit. So if you're worried about what to post, don't post anything. Go create conversations and go be social. And so the best way to do this is every time you get a new lead or meet a new person at open house, go and friend them or follow them on that profile and shoot them a message through there. So that's where Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Those three are all social type websites. Now YouTube is different, right? So YouTube is a search engine. So YouTube is a great marketing method for real estate. If you guys want to get into YouTube, I think it's one of the best. I think it's the best account to honestly build from like a content standpoint. If you're like somebody who's like wanting to build content, and there's so much you can do from YouTube. You can become the local mayor. You can do property tours. You can really create a brand around so many different things on there that becomes highly searchable. Now, if you're going to do YouTube, you're going to want to post videos that are minimum of 3 minutes, about 3 minutes to 7 minutes. So they're a little bit harder to produce. And you need to stay consistent with them because consistency is key. So if you're going to do the YouTube channel, you need to do a post minimum once per week. And then you're going to want to test with it on how many times you're posting per week. Colby, what's kind of the system that you use for your YouTube posting and the frequency and the duration of content? Can you kind of fill us in on what you've been working on lately?
Yeah, I can share screens if you want, because we kind of have our month locked in. So yeah, this is the C Group's content calendar. So you'll see here we are today. We have around anywhere from like 2 to 4 videos posting to YouTube per week. I'm going to be gone on this week, so that week we have prepped. Once I come back, we'll probably have some other videos to add in here to these weeks to fill back in. But yeah, these next 2 weeks are kind of good samples of like how we work around this. Any of our new listings really help to build out our content. However, we also like to build content outside of listings in case, we don't have anything coming in or, we don't get any new listings for a while. So a couple of those are going to be like the sip and see right here. If anyone has seen any of the other sip and sees, Melissa and Jen do them and they kind of just pick like a nice little spot to have a cocktail or coffee. And they really just talk about like what's going on in their world, any trades that they've done, anything coming up that they're excited about. And they get really good views. They're really simple little videos of them just kind of like chatting with each other. So we have that coming up. That's nice. And then Kevin does an investor series where he talks about any properties that any of like his investors have purchased, and then he talks about why they're good investments. So those are some really great pieces of content that we do. We also make content around our listings. So this one's Home Alone. It's getting posted today, so check that out. Shameless plug, but it basically is a video of Kevin's daughter like pretending that she's home alone in this wonderful listing. So we make some fun content around that in any of our listings. You can also probably do it if your clients are cool with it and if the listing agent is cool with it with any properties you close on as a buyer side. We don't have any coming up now, but from last month we have a couple. Like we did this one, San Antonio, and 10th in Carmel, and Kevin closed on it. So we just did like a nice little walkthrough video. It was a gorgeous house, and just like a nice piece of content, other than just saying like, hey, we closed on this. So that's kind of like what our content usually looks like. As far as planning it out goes, I have a bi-weekly meeting with the C group team. So that's a little bit different probably than it would be for planning for yourself. We have a bi-weekly meeting where we kind of are like, okay, here's what's getting posted for the next couple of weeks. Does anyone have anything coming up, like trades-wise, listings-wise, business-wise? And then we kind of get through that. And then it's like, okay, what other videos does anyone want to talk about? You know, the new pizza place opening up in Seaside, or does anyone want to cover, you know, Austin does wine and real estate. So it's like, hey, Austin, do you want to, you know, make a video at a winery and talk about XYZ? So we kind of just like fill it in from there, plan out when to shoot it, and then plan out when it like is going to be edited by, and have, you know, ideas about posting. So one we have coming up, Jen does a Spill the Tea series, and we're going to have her do that with my partner who's a firefighter, and he's going to talk about fire safety. And we're posting that beginning of May. So it like coincides with fire season and people prepping their homes for fire. So just kind of thinking forward like that.
So everything Colby just said was amazing, and that's how it works, right? That's how it works to run a media company. That's how it runs the work and media division. And if you're like, holy shit, how the hell am I supposed to do that and show buyers and keep my Sierra clean and get listings and perfect my buyer console, like on top of everything else that I do, like how the hell do I do it, right? So like very overwhelming. So what I would recommend is, if that felt overwhelming, number one, YouTube's probably not your channel. And number two, if you still want to do some YouTube, you can. So you can leverage what Colby's doing, and Colby will post your content so that you don't have to have it that frequent, because you do have to have it frequent to hit the metrics of YouTube. And YouTube is a search engine, so it needs to be optimized for search engine optimization. So Colby will do that for you. If you guys film content, if you like film walkthrough videos and stuff like that, she will post it for you on an existing account that does stay active and that is posting content. And so that way you can do that on a one-off, you don't have to do it consistently week in, week out, and it'll have only your contact information in it. So that way, if people are reaching out, it's going to go to you, Jayesh. Like if you're doing it on your listing, that's going to be your lead source. So leverage somebody else's account, just like the same way I said with that Google search. So that way you don't have to turn into a marketing company. You can one time do it and still get that power.
Totally. And to reiterate, you guys would be making your own content, but I would be doing the posting and like the actual push on the marketing for you. But Kyle's saying that, you know, if you have a really cool listing, or if you go to a really cool property and you feel inspired to make a video, you don't have to feel, you know, discouraged by being like, well, I only have 100 followers, like no one's going to see this. You know, you can give that to us and we can post on our profile and push it on our end of things. So I think that kind of is more the leverage that we're talking.
Exactly. Thanks for clarification on that, because that's helpful. I might have been out of bounds there. So you know, rest assured that you can use leverage for that. You don't have to become a full-time marketing company to get traffic. And then if your channel is going to be Instagram, LinkedIn, or Facebook, you're much better off being social than you are posting a bunch. I do it. I try to post a bunch, and you know what? It doesn't really work. But the days that I go and just like only send messages, I have a ton of conversations. Okay, next topic. Fellow. So you guys all have accounts for Fellow, but you need to register them for them to work. So go ahead and click on that link, click the login. When you go to login, click continue with Google and log in with your C2 email. And this will register you for the site, for the program. And so the cool thing about Fellow is it does sync up with Sierra Interactive. So like, you don't need to be logging into Fellow a bunch. You just need to register this first time, and then it'll do its magic after that as an automatic two-way feed, which means they both talk to each other. And so you only need to use one of them. There is one specific thing, though, in Fellow that I'm going to show you guys that you will want to utilize. Okay, cool. So if you go to marketing, then landing pages, then personal. So each of you has a landing page that you can create from here. So earlier, your website, that's going to be your best resource for buyers, because they're going to get on there and they start viewing properties. Fellow is your best resource to lead capture for sellers. And what this looks like is you can have a squeeze page, what's called a squeeze page that looks like this. So like on your Instagram profile, you should have this link and your buyer link. And Instagram now allows multiple links. And on all of your profiles that I referenced earlier, you should have both of these on all of them. And Fellow has tools where you can like shorten and personalize the links. Honestly, I haven't got into it a ton. For me, I really like the ability just to lead capture and to have the nurture campaigns ran for me. But there's a lot more. So like you can do a QR code. You can share it on different social medias here, like just looking at my page. You can also create a custom URL up here. And then you can also create new and kind of do new different ones that you might want to do through the system. So you guys all have access to this. And so it's a home valuation tool. So what'll happen is if somebody will click on it, they'll enter their home address, it'll take them through a couple questions, and then it'll give them an automatic valuation, kind of like how you get a Zestimate. It has that same functionality. And I'll do a follow-up email to send out the Fellow stuff, but we had Fellow come on and train in January. But they have a great way where if you get past clients, and for you investment partners, this is like, if you're not doing this trick, start doing it now, is once every 2 months for anybody who you meet for investment partner, go into their Fellow profile and update their valuation manually and tell them why you did it. Say like, hey, Robert, I'm updating this because the property 123 Main Street just sold for $800,000 and this actually adjusted your price up. Congratulations. And then so what they'll do is they'll get an email then of that, they'll get an email notification of that change, and then they'll go log in and they'll go view what it is now. And then they'll be in your dashboard and they're gonna start using this tool. It's kind of like looking at your stock portfolio. Like people like being updated how their property moves along. It doesn't mean they're necessarily going to sell right now, but it's a nurture tool for them. And you might just hit that number one day where they're like, well, I'd sell it for $850. And it's not something you need to do monthly. It's something you should do once per quarter at the most, every 2 to 3 months. Because more than that's going to be annoying. The other reach out should be more personal. But this can be like kind of your business type reach out. Whoever has gotten an email like this from a realtor, newsletter, bunch of pictures, text. You guys ever seen a newsletter like this? Does anybody like getting those?
I don't feel like they're bad to give out. Like I've definitely considered doing a newsletter myself.
It's just not like a lot going on.
Yeah, there's got a lot going on, right, Xavier? So like, yeah, Miguel, yes, they're not bad, but you know how long this probably take? Like, I don't make this. John Lee makes this. But it probably takes him like 2.5 hours. What do you think, 2.5, 3 hours to make these, Colby? Okay, so he said it takes him 2.5 to 3 hours. He sends it out weekly on my behalf. We've been doing it for, I don't know, 9 months. We have a list of, I think like 90,000, 80,000 people. I get like a 15% open rate. You know how many leads I've gotten from this? Zero. Big zero. Big zero from this. 38,000 recipients, yeah. So 5,000 people open this per week for 9 months, and I've gotten 0 leads. So if you guys have ever followed Sharon on any, yeah, nobody cares. Exactly, right, Daniel? Because why would somebody care? Like, I'm just playing like, look at me, I'm so cool, right? And nobody cares. That's not marketing. Marketing is making somebody else feel seen and heard and understood. I'd rather watch a video than read all of that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right? So like nobody cares. You're just trying to promote yourself. And it's like back to Instagram, like you're just doing this like certain type of marketing where it's all promotional. Look at me. And the best marketing is when you're saying, look at them. And who here follows Sharon on Instagram, has been to an event, has watched one of his trainings? If you have, then you've surely heard of the deal of the week. Everybody heard of the deal of the week? Daniel, what's the deal of the week? I know you know.
Just basically a property that's for sale that you post.
And what's the secret to the deal of the week?
Just to get them to start a conversation.
Exactly. So the secret of the deal of the week is for them to start a conversation. So what you want to do when you do your deals of the week is you want to make sure that you're posting them in a specific manner so that you're creating conversation, not having them just view the information. So I'm going to pop in the chat this PDF that I just coincidentally found. He's been talking about the deal week for like, I don't know, 6, 7 years. So Sharon, at that conference we went to, he said if he was a real estate agent right now, what he would do is take somebody out from his sphere for coffee every single day and send a deal of the week once a week and nothing else. And so the deal of the week needs to look like this format here specifically. So property address coming soon, or property in Livermore, something like headliney, asking price, details, some highlights. Like I mean, this is developed over time. He says to say less now. This must be an old thing. But basically, you want to say less because what you're trying to do is create a conversation, like Daniel said. You want them to reply back and say, hey, I'm interested in this. Hey, this fits me. So you say less and you get their information. Now, some of you, I did a deal of the week for a little bit in February. I was not following proper email spam laws, so I did get blocked. But but anybody get an email from me in February from this, I've been rebuilding my account authority so that I can start doing it again. So I did it. I did 3 emails before I got banned, and I have to rebuild my authority now. I did 3. Guess how many? And it took me about 20 minutes each time to do it. Guess how many leads I got on those 3 emails? I got 4. I got 4 leads on 3 emails. They all took me like 20 minutes each. Because it wasn't about me. It was about them. And it created a conversation. It was social. So if any of you are thinking about what to send your database, do the deal of the week. You can find a property and you can make it a deal week for any reason. It doesn't have to be, hey, this is a good investment. It doesn't have to be a cheap deal. It can be like, hey, this is just a really great property in a great neighborhood. And it could be the deal of the week, right? Like your definition of deal of the week is up to you. So anyways, okay, so you can use, so Michael put that in the chat for MailChimp. MailChimp is an amazing tool. I think MailChimp is free if your database is under a certain size. They have a free trial. The most important part about email marketing is deliverability. So it's not all email companies are made the same. MailChimp is considered by far the best for deliverability. So it'll get your emails actually in somebody's inbox for them to be able to read it, basically. Oh, it's free for 1 month, sorry, and it's 20 per month after that. It's free if you have 1,000 emails sent. So if you have a database of 250 people, you send it 4 times per week, that part's free. The other way you can do this, though, is you don't have to do it through MailChimp. You can do a BCC. You can do a simple BCC on your computer, or you can go into your Sierra and do this as well. So let me go to, I'll show you Miguel. That's okay with you. I'm not going to show anything private. Okay, so you go to your leads dashboard. Now you can filter your people you're going to email this however you'd like. By doing advanced search, you can do like different tags and stuff like that. But if you just want to email everybody, Miguel's got a nice, healthy 671 people in his database. He can select all bulk actions and send email and write it right in here. Deal of the week, South Salinas. Hi, merge fields, first name. So now they think it's written just to them. And then he writes one of those emails from that PDF I just sent in. All text-based, sent in here. He clicks send. It's going to send to all of them, and it's going to look like a personal email just to them. Do that once per week on a cadence every single week. I did it 3 times. It took me 20 minutes each time, about 4 leads. John Lee spends 2 to 3 hours every week for 9 months on my newsletter. I get 0 leads. And now I'm sure I get some good brand awareness and good, all that great stuff. Like that's what we talk about. Brand is important, and that's the game we're playing there. So that's why we're doing it. So I'm not saying that those are bad things. I'm just saying if you're going to do something, deal of the week is the best thing you can do, especially at the stage that a lot of you guys are at in your career right now. And if you start to build a brand as the guy or girl that always has a good deal in their pocket, I think it's a pretty good brand to have as a real estate agent. I don't know about you guys, but that's a real estate agent I'd like to do business with. One of the requests I got was listing marketing. So some of you guys are like in the process of getting listings. Some of you just got them. Some of you know how to market listings. Some of you don't. So kind of just real quick, like bullet points of things that that we usually do for listings is Number one, I recommend doing like a postcard to the neighborhood. So you can do postcard to the neighborhood. If you go into the Real Marketing Center, you can get to the Real Marketing Center through Bolt. So if you go to bolt.realbrokerage.com, there's a marketing center on there. Click on that. You can design and send a postcard directly through that site. It's pretty good prices for postcards. I don't remember off the top of my head what it was, but I looked at it recently. I was like, oh, that's the way to do it right there.
What's that site called?
It's the marketing center through Bolt. So bolt.therealbrokerage.com. So if you go to Bolt, this is your Bolt login. Everybody has one of these. If you click on marketing center, it'll take you to the Bolt marketing center. You could just go direct, I guess. Oh, marketing.onereal.com is the direct link, but I just always use Bolt for all my resources with Real because it has all of them. So that's for postcards. I also would canvas the area. So you want all the neighbors to know you and know you're the listing agent, and you can use that as your reason to canvas it. Hey, my name is Lonnie. I'm going to be listing the property over there. If you ever want to come and check out, be a nosy neighbor and check out what your neighbor's house looks like, let me know. I can let you in and see it. Or I'm having an open house this weekend. If you have any friends that you'd like to move to the neighborhood, friends or family members looking to move to the area, I'm happy to give them the showing. Melissa does an amazing job of this. She'll just like hang out at her listings on days off and just like become the little mayor. She's done it in a little condo complex, and she's posting her 4th listing in there later this month. It's just because now everybody knows her in this condo complex, and they all know her as the person to go to now. You can also circle prospect by phone. So if you go to Batch Leads, you can download a list. You can also do it through a title company. You have to do professional photos though. Like, do professional photos. They're not very expensive. Like some areas have them as low as $175. Most expensive areas probably only like $300 for basic professional photos. But if you don't do it, you're going to not have very much authority in the agent community, and it's going to make the listing perform significantly worse. And it's such a small investment to make. It's also like a pain in the butt to take them on your phone and edit them and do all that stuff, right? Like just save yourself the time. And then also I highly recommend a listing video, because so many things, like Keith said earlier, I'd rather watch a video than look at all that. So all photographers now usually do videos. And then again, if you don't have a YouTube channel built up, just give it to Colby. She'll post that. And remember, C2 splits the cost with you on these professional photos and these listing videos, the same split at which you incurred that sale. Virtual staging, yeah. So everybody has their opinions. I'm personally not a big fan of virtual staging because life's greatest frustration is unmet expectations. So when you do virtual staging, you paint a picture of the property that's untrue. Somebody thinks something that is. You get there and you're like, oh man, this doesn't look like how I thought. Like, so I'm not saying that you should if you have a ugly listing, you should make it look less ugly. But at the same time, if you make it look like something that is just completely not, you're going to create frustration. That's my personal opinion. If you personally like it, I'd say do it. To each person its own. But that's my feeling. Direct reach out to other agents who have done deals in the market, and then email your database with the deal of the week, and email them before it's coming, when it hits the market, and when you do your first open house.
Question about the bulk email. Is it more likely to get flagged as spam if it comes in as bulk and CC'd or BCC'd as opposed to one at a time? Because I know with text through some of these systems that ends up being the case.
So texting specifically, what the texting laws have changed is if there's certain language in your texting and it's a mass, then it's going to get flagged, and you'll see an error number 3007 specifically on Sierra Interactive for that. And so if you've seen that one, that means a carrier like T-Mobile or Verizon or AT&T is like, oh, that looks spammy, and they've just shut you down and flagged you. So like a lot of times if you're like mass texting hyperlinks is like a big no-no. If you say like homes for sale, there's a bunch of terms that are like kind of no-nos. And then for the email side, so if you go through MailChimp, you're most likely not going to get flagged. You might get pushed to promotion though, if you're putting exclamation points in your title and if you put a lot of hyperlinks. So like Sharon talks about, like write emails the way that people write emails to their friends. So if you write emails the way that people write emails to their friends, then it's not going to get flagged, because the email carrier is going to see that and say, this looks good. This looks like a normal email. But if you have a ton of links and images and all this stuff, it's going to make your email it's called heavy. It's going to make it heavy and less likely to get delivered. And then it'll get pushed to your promotions file if it's too heavy. And that's when people I don't see my promotion emails, so I don't read those. So, and then BCC, my experience with BCC, Titus, is that it's fine. But I think it maxes at 500. I want to say. I think it's like 500 people you can BCC at a time. But make sure you're emailing people you know if you BCC them or they've opted in. So that's because you will get flagged by like Gmail if you're doing it to a bunch of cold emails. That'll hurt your like future deliverability to people you actually do know. Like that'll lower your authority essentially.
Where did you build the deal of the week? Just like on Google Slides or something? You just made a PDF?
No, just write it in your email. Just write it directly in that email. Give a couple bullet points. So you want it to look as basic as possible, Xavier. So just like great deal in neighborhood, and then like 4 bullet points, like 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,400 square feet. If you're doing it like an investment property, maybe like what they can expect from an investment. And then please let me know if you want more details. Or is this something you'd be interested in? Like something that's going to make them want to respond? If it's not something, then they won't. And so it's this idea that if you market and give somebody all the information up front, they're just never going to respond. They're like, oh, I got all the information. No, thanks. But if you say like something like, respond back if you want the details, or let me know if you don't, because I'll just keep following up with you until you let me know that you don't. Because a no response is still a good response. That means they're reading it. And then you know where to focus your energies too. Make it as basic as possible. Something that you like. Think of your best friend. What would you send them if you saw a property? That's what you should send them.
Put other people's listings in there. It doesn't have to be our own. Like if we don't have them, I can say like somebody at XYZ company. Do I have to give them props in that email or the deal of the week or no?
You're not marketing. You're not posting the address. Don't put the address if you're not. As long as you're not putting the address in there, create a conversation, and then you're okay.
No, I said, hey, I used that text that Sharon used. Hey, what if I told you I had a property that would pay you to own it? And within 5 seconds, I got a response.
Send that to every single investment partner lead you get, right?
Yeah.
You get a deal of the week. You get a deal of the week, the cash flows. Send it to every single lead you get, investment partner, every single firm by owner that you talk to. You send it to all of them. They're like you said, 5 seconds. They're all gonna be like, "Yo, yeah, I want to get paid to own the property."
Oh, so if we're doing these, like if we have a showing and we're doing videos of the walkthroughs, is it better to do a video like selfie style, holding the camera of ourselves walking through the property, or just do a video of the actual like walkthrough and we could be behind the camera talking?
All right, I have a good example to actually give you. So let me just show it to you rather than tell you. So this is Roland Osage. He is going to be one of the panelists on our social media panel at the upcoming Summer Remember, and he's with Real Bridge up in the Oakland area. So he's doing it like just from his phone. He has one of the, you can buy a phone gimbal for like $79, $79 to $99. And you can basically just walk through these things. And what he's doing is like a voiceover to what's going on in the video.
Okay.
And they're very simple to make. So you can edit directly inside of like TikTok is great video editing actually. CapCut is super easy to use online video editing. You can do it from your phone. Like if you ever seen people do those green screen videos and stuff like that, you can do this really easy in there. It's actually the editing software that TikTok is built into TikTok. So it just makes it you don't have to go into TikTok to use it, but it's super, super easy to use.
Okay.
But check out what Roland's doing on these videos because I think it's very easy to copy. He is good at what he's doing. Like he does know how to edit it, but you don't have to do it to his level. I think you can do it a couple steps down, but just with the same concept.
Yeah, because I usually, like, if I get there with enough time, I walk through and do the video, and it's more so I can do the walkthrough and see the area, and then, like, listen back to how I sound when I'm doing a walkthrough, and I talk like I do when I'm with somebody, and then see if I sound decent or, like, make edits. So,
dude, that's amazing content. That's amazing content on 2 levels. One is because you can post like the production of it, right? But then number 2 is like you showing you do that is amazing content. Like you want to talk about brand, like, hey, I practice what I'm going to talk about with people ahead of time because scripting is for them, not for me. Because if I script for them, I organize my thoughts and I'm able to deliver in a way that's easier for them to understand.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think most of the properties are off market now, so all of my videos I have will be useful, but future showing.
You can use them for branding too.
Okay.
Here, I just got this thing to load, so I'm going to show one just so you guys can see it. I think these are cool. And look at 29,000 views on these things.
Well,
we are at one of what I think is one of the most slept on areas in all of the East Bay. This is a 1989 built home, which has not been touched since then. And it was designed by Robert Wu, who was a student of Frank Lloyd Wright. This is 840 Sage Drive, like I said, in Alhambra Valley. This home is 3 bedrooms, 3.5.
Pretty low quality. It's a 5-minute video, so I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I just wanted you guys to see the quality of it. Like actually the ones I'd watched in the past were actually higher quality. This is the stuff that's performing best on social, right, guys? Like everybody thinks it's like these highly produced videos, but it's not. It's this stuff right here, stuff that feels real.
Does he post that separate, or not post it, but did he create that separate, like do the voiceover, or did he do it all at the same time?
You can do that. He seems like he's doing it at the same time right there. The one I've watched some in the past of him, Daniel, and those are the ones I could tell he did different at a different time.
You guys have been asking for an Alameda home tour for quite some time, and I have the perfect one for you. This is 17 Treglone Court in Alameda.
No, I think he flipped to just doing them all live. I think he was doing the voiceover separate before, and it seems to me like he's changed just doing them right there with it while he's filming.
Hey, Daniel, real quick, you said, "What if I told you you can own a house that pays you to own it?" Is that what the line you said?
I'll say it. I'll say it right now. Right? Yeah. We'll just use you. You're the buyer.
All right.
It'd be, "Hi Xavier, this is Daniel from C2 Realty. What if I told you I found a property that would pay you to own it? Would you be interested?" That's it. And within 5 seconds, I got a text back, yes.
So this is a text message for Deal of the Week too. I posted this one on Instagram actually, and he thought it was hilarious because he's like, dude, you posted my face like that? Hey, Sharon, not sure if this is the right fit for you. I came across a property that every Laguna Beach home buyer in today's market should look at. Highlights under 1.5 million, 390K less than the average home, 1,900 square feet, Airbnb okay. Would you like the details that you can share with anyone that might be interested? Like as simple as that. And then I'll do his Deal of the Week new format because that PDF I had before was a little bit more complex. I think what he's doing now is a lot better personally. But like the more simple, the better, right, Xavier?
Yeah, I like that.
Because then they got to ask you.
Yeah, with the messaging, email and text messaging, I definitely see that. But with the social media, you said we should still reach out to the listing agent or like to ask for permission with social media, even if you're still keeping it vague.
I would put listed by, like me personally, I put listed by and put their listed in their name and their brokerage and the DRE number.
Okay.
But so if you're like, which platform are you talking about? Instagram?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Instagram, if you look at your Instagram feed, you can see the only part of the writing that you ever see on Instagram is like the first 2 sentences. Everything else is hidden. And then it's comments. So you get like the first sentence only. So if you're crediting somebody as their listing, people aren't seeing that.
So just you're talking about like posting a real post and then just having that information like farther down. So you're still giving them the credit, but that's not the first thing that their eyes are catching.
Most people aren't making that far down. And then the way that people read text, like emails, or and this is true for email. I know this about emails. I don't know if it's true for social, but I assume it is. People read naturally. Marketing is the first line, the last line, and then the middle. So put it more towards the middle. So put like call to action up top, call to action at the bottom. Middle is where you put your junk.
I like that.
Or hook up top, call to action at the bottom. Sometimes I put call to action at top though, because I want them to because Instagram's only showing that first sentence. So I'm just like, hey, catch this first sentence. Cool. Good stuff today, guys. Feel free to reach out if you have any follow-ups on it. Start doing Deal of the Week. See you guys later.